Let's talk golf. PGA Tour is underway. The European Tour is underway. Rory McIroy, fighting to be number one in the world, wins at Dubai. We talked last week about the ugly incident with Patrick Reed. Reed, of course, had jumped to the LIV, has filed a lawsuit against a pile of people on the PGA Tour, including Rory McIroy, for comments he made about the LIV. So McIroy comes down the final 18 on Sunday in Dubai, and he's tied with Patrick Reed. Absolutely amazing. So Rory hits a 15-foot putt on the 18th to win at Dubai. Enormous amount of money. Rory rockets to the top of the standings again. Does not shake Patrick Reed's hand on the 18th green at the end of the tournament. So this war between McIlroy, Reed, the LIV, is continuing. But Rory's back, and Patrick Reed is still an outcast. Sidebar story: Phil Mickelson, just as the LIV is about to open their second year and play abroad, Phil Mickelson says last year was disastrous. I was the most embarrassed I could ever be on the Pro Tour. Mickelson looks very different right now. He lost 22 pounds in the offseason. He thinks he's going to get his game back. What he can't get back is his credibility for how he acted when he jumped across the street and took all the LIV money while saying those people are MFers killing people in Saudi Arabia. So that controversy just continues to spill out there. The other factor is Phil. He played 6 tournaments in the LIV. 4 of the 6, he finished 35th to 45th in each tournament. He didn't play well at all. So I don't know if he's got any gas left in the tank, but he's trying to resurrect his career. The guy on the right, Max Homa. This is a great story at Torrey Pines. First of all, John and I walk out there, Torrey Pines. You love the view. You love the golf. You love the women, the party atmosphere, etc. Max Homa wins. Comes from 6 shots back to win the Farmers Open last Sunday. Max Homa has lost his tour card twice because he's played so poorly. Had to go back to the Corn Ferry Developmental Series, which is the qualifier to get your PGA card. He came back and did it twice. So hats off to him. He's won 6 tournaments in kind of a spotty career. But, man, he was red hot. I felt really bad for Sam Ryder, who had been the leader from day 1 into day 4 and lost that lead on Sunday, just could not keep the ball on the fairway. And Jon Rahm, who had been red hot, had put together phenomenal rounds on Thursday and Friday. I mean, 5 and 6 birdies plus a double. And then he fell apart on Friday with double bogeys. And I think he wound up on the final round on Saturday. I think he had a double bogey and 5 bogeys. Just completely fell off the chart and finished way back of Max Homa. So there it is. Hit it out of the rough. Give me your thoughts on McIlroy versus Reed, your thoughts on Phil, your thoughts on what that guy, Max Homa, just did.
Well, let's talk about Torrey Pines because it's the greatest tournament here. I mean, what a showcase for San Diego every time they have that tournament. I was rooting for Ryder. I mean, they interviewed his mom and they were walking the course and you're like, hey, this is the young kid. He's kind of, this is the first time he's got a shot at winning a PGA tournament. But yeah, he just crumbled at the end.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah. And Homa was just locked in. And so, he drove it all the way home. So good on him. Nice to see his wife there and his baby, and they get to celebrate that together. Kind of like how Jon Rahm did previously with his wife and his baby. Now, going back to the LIV, Phil Mickelson, how old is Phil Mickelson?
52.
52. So usually when you're over 50, you're on the seniors tour, right? I mean, they're not usually competitive against these, young athletes in their late 20s.
And he played a couple championship tour events, that's what they call it now, a couple of years ago, and he won them. And I thought, well, what a great entree to leave the PGA, because at that point he was not winning, to leave the PGA, go to the Champions Tour, and just continue your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't do that. And he took this guaranteed money, and the way he acted and what he said, and then how he disappeared from the world. And it's too bad because he's been so good for the PGA Tour, and he's a hometown guy who did great. But boy, has sure made bad decisions, I think, recently. And what do you think about McIlroy and what McIlroy and Patrick Reed are doing? And this is not going away because the LIV guys are going to be allowed to play in the Masters. The Masters at Augusta has indicated if you qualified in the past to be part of the Masters tournament, a win, etc., you can come play, even if you're in Saudi Arabia taking blood money. It's kind of interesting what they've done. The U.S. Open's not made a final decision, but obviously the Ryder Cup has told these guys, no, don't cross the street. You're not allowed now to play for your flag. So this war of words is not over.
Yeah, I'm interested to see those dynamics play out in the Masters. But you say they didn't shake hands. I just noticed this in the tournament at Torrey is that when they come off the 18th green, usually that's when they go shake the hands of the other players in their group and the caddies. That's nice how they always take off their cap. You ever notice that? And I guess it's just the gentlemanly way they do it in golf. But McIlroy is one of the hot players, one of the young stars in the league. And yeah, we haven't seen him. So now we're going to hopefully see him in Augusta.